Chapter 3. The Unexpected Ally. Qiao Yi-man felt different as she entered the high school the next day, a sense of purpose flickering within her like a candle in a dark room. The talent show was on the horizon, and despite her lingering trepidation, she was ready to step out of the shadows. Each step she took along the familiar hallways felt like a small rebellion against the silence that had often cloaked her. Yet part of her still hesitated, the burden of doubt creeping back in like an unwelcome shadow. As she walked to her locker, Yi-man's mind was abuzz with ideas for her art piece. The lines and colors swirled like a dance within her thoughts, battling with the fear that still clung to her heart. Would her work truly connect with anyone? Would they see her for who she was, rather than the invisible girl she had always been? "Hey, Yi-man," Zhang Yuhan called, her spirited energy cutting through Yi-man's contemplative haze. She bounced toward her with that trademark pixie haircut, jutting like a beacon, bold and fearless. "Have you thought of what you're going to create for the showcase?" Yi-man fidgeted with the strap of her backpack. "I want to create something that resonates, something that shows my journey, but I can't quite put it into words." "Words, schmerds," Zhang waved her hand dismissively. "Just let your brushes do the talking. And hey," she lowered her voice conspiratorially, "Maria mentioned she's got a plan to unite everyone's talents. It's awesome." As Zhang shared her excitement, Yi-man's heart fluttered, but a part of her felt the weight of anxiety pressing down. How do I get through to everyone? What if no one cares? Before Zhang could respond, He Junting rounded the corner, drawing the attention of several students nearby. His confident stride and effortless smile made him the center of attention, but there was a depth in his brown eyes whenever he glanced around. Yi-man often admired him from afar, catching glimpses of the complex layers hidden behind his carefree persona. Lost in her reverie, she almost missed the way he took a step closer to her. "Hey, Yi-man," he greeted, his voice warm and genuine amidst the chaos of locker slamming and shouts echoing in the corridors. "I heard you might be participating in the talent show. Is it true?" Yes," Yi-man stammered, taken aback by his sudden interest. The butterflies in her stomach intensified. "I'm thinking of doing an art piece." "Cool. That's awesome." He Junting's enthusiasm swept through her, and a flutter of courage ignited. "Your art is incredible. It deserves to be seen." "Thanks, Have you thought about what you want to convey?" he interrupted, eyes bright with sincerity. There was something distinctly compelling about his presence. It made her feel like she could actually share her thoughts. Yi-man hesitated, searching for words, but Zhang chimed in before she could get tangled in her own thoughts. "She wants to show how she sees the world, all the colors and emotions and stuff." As days passed, the nascent plans for the talent show began to blossom, driven by an excitement she had never before experienced. Each morning brought cheers, laughter, and unscripted conversations about art and expression. She found herself energized by the camaraderie emerging between students. Then came the day when Maria gathered everyone under the sprawling trees in the park for an important meeting about the talent show. Yi-man could see a mix of familiar faces and new ones, artists, musicians, dancers coming together under the intention of shared creativity, embracing the promise of unity. It felt exhilarating, intoxicating even, to think of them all collaborating, savoring the beauty in each other's talents. "Okay, everyone." Maria clapped her hands to gather attention, her athletic build exuding confident authority. "I'm so glad you're all here. We want this talent show to be a celebration, an opportunity to express ourselves without fear, and I believe we can make it something huge." The crowd responded with a mixture of cheers and excited banter. Yi-man could feel a pulse of energy vibrating through the air, and she found herself swept up in the enthusiasm, her mind racing with ideas. However, just as Maria began outlining the main details of the show, Yi-man noticed a curious tension building among some students at the back of the group. A few familiar faces exchanged glances, and a wave of unease swept through her as she recognized some of her former bullies slipping into the assembly, their presence a stark reminder of the shadows she often feared would loom over her. Among them was Ting Wei, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Yiman's stomach dropped as she saw her laughter ripple through the crowd like a virus. It was the same laugh that often echoed in the school hallways, ringing now with the promise of impending chaos. "They're here to stir trouble," Jiang whispered beside her, noting Yiman's anxious demeanor. "Stay focused. Don't let them ruin this. But what if they try to sabotage my art? What if they make fun of me again?" Yiman's voice trembled, her anxiety inching larger, threatening to overwhelm her resolve. "Just remember what Maria said. This is about embracing who we are. You're stronger than those bullies." Zhang squeezed her hand encouragingly, but Yiman's gaze remained glued to Ting Wei, who was now smirking at the front of the group, provoking murmurs among her followers. Maria glanced back, sensing Yiman's discomfort. "Let's all focus on the talent show. It's a chance to show the school our creativity to shine." Her confident voice pierced the uncertainty that hovered in the air. "Despite anyone's previous behavior, we are here together, and that matters. The only thing we should fear is retreating further into silence." As the meeting continued, Yiman realized that the presence of her former bullies wouldn't define her experience. With Zhang and the support of her burgeoning friendship with Maria, and even Jun Ti, Yiman felt renewed, excitement flooding through her veins. Everything around her seemed to brighten. As the meeting adjourned, students began to disperse, and Yiman looked around, embracing the sense of community like a long-lost friend. The lingering presence of previous tormentors slowly faded from her mind. What remained was the potential of what lay ahead. "Are you ready?" Zhang asked, her voice resonating with life. "Ready to conquer the world?" "I think so." Yiman breathed deep, removing the shackles of doubt she had clung to for too long. A flame of hope ignited within her as she walked alongside Zhang, determination solidifying step by step with each friendship she formed. The park resonated with laughter and music as the sun began to dip below the horizon, symbols of brighter days ahead, speaking silently within the hum of the familiar. As Yiman prepared to step into the light of the talent show, she could feel the pulse of resilience echoing through her, a reminder that her voice mattered. She would embrace it, letting the canvas wrap around her, a tapestry woven with colors, endurance, and newfound alliances that would illuminate her path forward. She was not just an artist, she was an expression of everyone's unspoken whispers, taking a firm stand, ready to unveil her truth to the world. With each brushstroke, she would paint not just her journey but the essence of those around her, united in strength, friendship, and shared stories. The unexpected allyship she had forged spoke volumes, forging a destiny where she would be anything but invisible.